Hey, my name's James Nicholson and welcome to my YouTube channel. Landlords are finally fighting back against these new EPC rules. The government want to introduce rules that would make it that properties rented out need to have an EPC level C by 2030. Now, for new rentals, for new contracts, if your tenant leaves and someone moves into it after 2028, you would have to have it ready by then, which is just 2 short years away. The problem is that the legislation isn't going to be ready till the end of 2026. That gives a very short window for things to get done. And because of that, it's unlikely that the 2.5 million properties that need to be upgraded will get the work started in time. Not only that, there is a skills shortage as well. So in this video, we're going to talk about who's helping landlords fight back, what impact that has. Is it possible that these updates will get done? I don't think so. We're going to talk about a lot more about this stuff. You should watch this video if you're a tenant, also if you just own a residential property, and definitely if you're a landlord. Now, if you're new around here, we have all the latest property news on the channel. Make sure you subscribe to the channel over there and hit that bell notification. We're on the way to 44,000 subscribers now. And let's get some more views on this video by smashing like, tickling like, doing something to that like button. That really helps with the YouTube algorithm. And thanks to everyone that takes a moment to do that. So, these guys are helping landlords fight back. The National Residential Landlord Association. And they are a big group that is speaking with the government now about the probable carnage that you're going to see if this new EPC legislation goes through as quickly as the government is saying. Now, what the NRLA are not saying is that this shouldn't happen. They're just saying that it should be slower. The process should be slower because it's just not possible for it to get done. Now, one of the biggest problems I have with this EPC stuff is that it's not expected to be enforced or law until the end of 2026. Now, in my opinion, that's ridiculous. So the government are going to be changing how EPCs are worked out. Now, what could happen then is it could become easier to get a level C, or it could become harder. Now, I'm in my office here in Dorking, and they had EPC legislation rolled out for commercial properties a few years ago, and they had rules that they had to get it to a certain level. And this office here has sash windows. It can be a little cold in the winter, but it's a nice office. And what happened was that this property was below the threshold and they weren't going to be able to rent it out. But the government changed how EPCs were worked out. They changed the gas boilers and electric would have different weightings on the EPC thing. And then magically, this landlord here, not me, the landlord of my office, they passed without doing any work at all. Now, that could happen. That could happen in the new EPC updates. It could be easier to get one, so then the government ticks their box and they can say to everyone, you know what, we bought millions of houses up to a level C because it was easier to do. Or it could also get harder. Now, the problem with this end of 2026 thing, as I see it, is that you might be a landlord right now that has a bit of cash in the bank. You'd like to crack on with the work, but you can't because you don't know what the ultimate end goal is going to be here. Maybe they'll change this and say you've got to get it to a level B. Or maybe you don't need to do anything because when the new EPC calculation comes out, maybe you suddenly sneak up to a level C. And so that is something that we've got to keep an eye on here. And so because of that, millions of landlords are sitting on that because they can't start the work. Now, what the government is proposing, November last year, so not even very long ago, they were proposing that if you couldn't hit a level C, maybe you've got a Victorian building, you've got sash windows like I've got here in the office, right? And it was really, really hard for you to get that level C. They were going to say, well, as long as you spend £10,000 towards insulation, solar or whatever, then we'll tick this off for you. We'll say you did your best, and you've improved the property somewhat. But then they've changed their mind now. Now they're saying that you're going to need to spend around £15,000. But even so, this is not 100% confirmed because the bill isn't going through till the end of 2026. And this is the ridiculous part, is that if it's so urgent that we've got to do this work, why are we not just getting this pushed through really fast so we can actually all understand what's got to be done? Now, this is where it gets even more difficult. So there are 2.5 million properties that are rentals that are below a level C. That's a lot. And if you look at what the government is trying to do, they're also trying to build 1.5 million new properties. Now, the people that are going to do the work on this stuff are also the same people that are probably expected to build these 1.5 million properties. They can't be in both places. And B&Q has been looking into this. They're owned by Kingfisher Group. They own Screwfix, B&Q and all those sorts of stores. They've said there is a massive skill shortage in the UK at the moment. And so we've got a shortage of skilled workers at the moment of 250,000 people. By 2030, we're going to be underskilled by 250,000 people. So we don't have the people to even do this work, which is the ridiculous thing. So yeah, we've got the government saying, look, we're not going to confirm this till the end of 2026. You've also got the fact that if you have a new tenancy, so let's just say they agree this in December of 2026, you get a new tenant in 2028, you've got to have your property to a level C by then. That's only giving you 2 years. Right now, if they got this agreed, figured out, people could start. But they can't really start because the work that they do now doesn't count towards it. So if you spent 15 grand today and put new solar on the property, you did lots of stuff, and you were working towards getting that level C, but you didn't quite get there, then this new legislation goes through, the 15 grand that you've already spent will not count. And you're going to have to spend another 15 grand. That's the ridiculous part of this. And so because of that, it's not going to work very well. What you've also got to consider is, what if you need to do insulation on the internal walls and you've got a tenant there? Very hard for them to live in a property when you're doing a full insulation project in that property. You've also got the problem with that tenants might think that they want this stuff, but when they understand that Labour have already said that the landlords can pass these costs on to the tenant at a rate of £4,000 a year, I don't think they're going to be so keen, because the average savings expected from doing all of this work is just £240 per property per year. It's hardly life-changing stuff here. So look, the NRLA are fighting back against this, and what they're proposing is that we take this from 2030 to 2036, giving people another 10 years. What do I think? I think that maybe the NRLA conversations won't get this done initially, but I would bet that this stuff will get pushed back. I think the government will see eventually that they're not going to be able to stop these properties being rented out. Because let's just say it was only 500,000 properties that weren't ready. That's a huge amount of people that social housing can't take on, or other properties can't take on. It would be a nightmare to have all those people evicted, or those properties to be unlettable. Let me know what you think about this. I think it is a positive video, because a lot of you are saying there's not so much positive stuff. The fact that you've got someone, NRLA, fighting for landlords on this is good. If you're a tenant, I think this is good as well, because I think you want to really understand this. And I think if you have the option to save £240, but your rent goes up by £4 grand a year, I think you're probably not going to want this work done. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Do smash like and subscribe, and check out all the other content as well on the channel, including this video right here.